Our fans were incredible again last week, which is pretty stinking amazing, truthfully. I mean, um, I was prepared to cancel Tiger Walk, and I came early to meet with recruits and saw all the people, and I said, well, we can't do that. So our people are just really, really special, as are our students and everyone that supports us. So we're thankful for that. Good win, a lot of things to clean up, but a lot of positives also. And hopefully we can build on those things as we open SEC play. Offensively, 40-plus points is good, 7.3 yards in a play, and had 15 explosives, so solid there. Negatives, we turned the ball over. Can't do that. And we weren't great on third down, even though a couple of those were skewed a little bit with the last drive and the Hail Mary. So we've got to just continue to try to improve and be who we're going to be there. We kind of sabotaged ourselves on the one red zone that we didn't score a touchdown. Can't do that against teams that we're getting ready to face. Special teams-wise, kickoff returns were explosive. It changed their game plan. We won field position with that. The biggest glaring thing, both special teams and defensively, is the number of penalties that we had, which is not who we are. And never had a team I don't know, that made me the most yards penalties I've ever experienced. And unfortunately, some of them were selfish, and that's disappointing and cannot happen. Defensively, just that we did get 2 takeaways, but we were seemed chaotic and unsure. Now, I will say they had an open week, and they threw the kitchen sink at us from every formation, every motion, every unbalanced, and a quarterback that can run around and make plays, but we didn't tackle well, didn't think our effort was great, and hopefully that's a good learning lesson for us, and I know DJ feels that way, and we'll work hard this week to make sure that we don't see a repeat of that. But a win, and hopefully we can build upon that as we turn our attention to it's a much improved Arkansas team. This quarterback is another one that's going to run around and make a lot of plays, and they've got a really good offensive scheme that makes you prepare for a lot of different things, and experienced coaches that have done this a long time. O-line is probably the most improved unit that I've seen this year with the guys they brought in from the portal, and they're really, really improved in the offensive line. Defensively, they're very similar to last year. A lot of returners, probably better in the secondary a little bit. Front's the same guys, one backer's back. So it's pretty similar defensively, and they're playing really, really hard right now. But offensively, it's a lot to deal with the way they're using their quarterback in the run game and in the pass game, and their running backs are really, really solid with an improved O-line.
Coach, you seemed really pleased with Hank after his first start as QB1. Now that you've had time to review the film, what things did you note on film that you're going to work on with him this week headed into Arkansas?
Well, the game plan will be a little different, and so you won't, I won't spend too much time. None of us will. After we clean this tape up today, we'll do the few corrections that he had. Truthfully, he had 3 things that we need to get corrected. Other than his clock awareness has got to improve. But he had 2 times he got us late in the clock. One was a delay, and he did not have to even get out of that play. He was thinking a little too much. Awareness of clock stuff, but the things that the 3 things that he did there, one was a really poor choice on a rollout pass. Can't do that. The other 2 were not necessarily bad passes. They're just a better option. on certain things, whether it's you need to throw into pressure here, or you did not need to check out of this. It was not man coverage, and you got, that just comes with experience, and those were really the only three things. He got us in the right runs. 100% of his checks were right. So his decision making was good. His execution was good. Could have had a higher percentage of completions, I think. Had a drop, by Perry, and had a couple wet ball issues probably that hurt him some there at the end of the second half, as we had no timeouts and we weren't getting a dry ball in. But I was pleased with his first performance for sure, and next week will be a bigger test for him.
Hugh, defensively, the first half, you guys have given up a pretty good amount of points and yards this last two games, but the second half has been different. Have you sort of pinpointed anything, whether it's preparation on the front end or good adjustments at halftime? What's going on there?
I definitely think DJ and his staff are one of the better staffs at adjusting at halftime, but they don't lack in preparation effort either. It's just they had a lot to prepare for this, and we didn't see a lot of this. All of the X-off motions and extra tackle in the game. It was just a lot coming at us pretty fast there in the first half, but no excuse for us. Several of those plays, we're in post high safety, and the high safety, when the quarterback starts scrambling around, decides he needs to not be a post high safety anymore. Let me run up and try to help my friends on. No, if you're deep, you stay deep, and that happened twice. And that's our kids have to understand that and execute that. If we're in one high and you're the post safety, then be the post safety. And that hurt us a couple of times, and we didn't contain the quarterback very well. I thought we looked sluggish, whether it was the wet field or turf or too much workload. Dom got me all the stats from last week on what all of our GPS stuff says on our workload, and it was heavier, probably because we chose to practice in a manner that we let the play go on with a quarterback running around, and it looked like we were tired. I thought we played slow and not very disciplined, too many penalties, and we're not playing with poise when we're in position to make a play as a DB, and that's what I felt like. But to answer your question, I think DJ and them do a really nice job of adjusting at halftime.
You mentioned you worried about Brandon Frazier's condition. Just do you have an update on him, and then the other, Cam, and Tutal?
Yeah, he's unfortunately having surgery tomorrow to put a pin in his foot, so he'll be out an extended period of time, which hurts us. He was really playing at a high level for us, so that's disappointing. I hate that for him, and hope he can make it back and for some key games down the stretch for sure. Cam, too tall, too early to tell. Hopeful for sure, but too early to tell.
Yes, but too.
Ken, I would expect would play. He probably could have gone. We just chose to try to hold him out if we could. His is just a calf strain, and I feel confident he'll try to go this week.
With Brandon out, how valuable does Micah become, and how much have you seen out of him from an improvement standpoint?
He's definitely improved. He's matured in handling how you go about doing things in general. And we're thrilled we have him. We're going to need him a lot now. He's going to play a lot of snaps, and between he, Rivaldo, and Luke, and there's different skill sets, and we kind of use them all. We're going to move someone else in that room for our big, when we really want to go big at tight end, and we were actually just getting to that discussion before Kirk came to get me and told me it was time. So, but we probably need somebody to be able to put on a jersey that that resembles some type of tight end.
Hugh, you guys rotated on the offensive line again. Saw Tate and Braden both playing at guard. What did you think of that group, and just those guys in particular on the interior with, Dylan having to play right tackle some?
Yeah, I thought we were really solid in the pass pro, very little pressure. Tyler Johnson gave up one pressure. The rest of the time, I thought Hank stood in there and delivered the ball to the right reads, went through the progressions, but in order to do that, you've got to have protection, and I thought it was pretty solid. There was only one pressure, truthfully, other than the sprint out where they added on a rusher, which that happens. We still threw a touchdown, but in the pocket, I thought it was pretty clean. So I think all of those guys did a nice job. Run game wise, I thought Joyner did really well. Good to see a young kid. Here's the thing that I really is and I know what the media and everybody wants everything now, but I've told you the way that I'm going to build this program along with our staff, and the most enjoyable thing about that to me is kids like that, and Cam Coleman and Malik Blockton and Waller, and they don't even know anything about this entitlement syndrome yet or anything. They just love playing for Auburn. And that is the culture that we want to build and win with. And heck, Joyner's a kid that I honestly thought about, man, maybe we should consider he needs to maybe go somewhere else at some point. And here the guy is, playing significant snaps for us and will this week again. And you don't have to worry about his passion for playing when he puts that Auburn jersey on, because it stinking means something to him. And we need more and more and more and more and more of those guys being recruited to this place that don't come in and feel like, well, I've been around this game for 4 years and I want my NIL money and I want to, and I think I've already arrived and am entitled, and then don't work very hard when practice comes around. So I'm enjoying the heck out of coaching people like him and those young kids that it means something to.
You've been, though not on the other side of the ball necessarily, but when Bobby Petrino was here, you heard constantly his offense is different. His scheme is different than what you see otherwise. Is it still that way, and what makes it as effective as it is?
I haven't watched them on offense yet. I was just been watching defense yesterday and this morning. But I did ask DJ yesterday, has anything changed from what he's normally, and he says it's very similar. What makes it so different is just mostly, it typically has been it's a very, very good mixture of the pro style offense with some of the college flair in it, and doing it out of a lot of big sets with a lot of tight ends that present extra gaps in the run game, but yet he's able to throw all of the 3-level routes and the play actions off of it also. So that's, if you can get in 12 personnel and be effective in running the ball and take shots out of it, that's scary. That's a scary world to live in.
Quick follow-up. Has he been a guy ever, as you've kind of studied and said, maybe I'd like to do some of this or that he does?
No, I wouldn't say that. He and his son came to visit with me when I was at Liberty, and we talked some ball then. But it's not like I've studied a lot of the stuff that they do, and I'm pretty set in my ways on what we do, and it's been successful most places. And just, I don't know, usually when I venture out and try to do things that I don't have answers to, I'm probably not very good. may not be very good in what I know, but I know I'm not very good in stuff I don't know. So.
Keontae's muffed a couple of punts. You talked about the importance of the first thing is catching it. What are your thoughts on punt return?
Yeah, the most important thing after dadgum special teams play is we have the ball. And that's getting frustrating. And certainly it's not something we beat our kids up over. But we're going – I've already met with special teams, and we're going to figure out who the best option is back there to secure the ball first. And that would give us an opportunity to maybe get a return should the kick. Keontae's been very dangerous when he does those, and he's been pretty solid. But we need to look at everything. I think we got to get Malcolm Simmons some touches, and is he ready to handle that? Not too much seems too big for him because he, again, is another one of those kids you just love being around. He came in my office this morning, just sat down and talked, and he's just a kid, and none of the moments seem too big for him because he's grown up just playing ball in the yard, and that's the kind of way he approaches practice every day and the games, and it's fun to see that. So it wouldn't shock me if he's pretty natural back there. He's probably our second best punter on the team.
Yeah, you guys run a lot of like a 3-2 front. I don't know what you guys call that. Some people call it a mint or something like that.
That's mint would be 4 down, but
yeah, I got you. Whatever. You guys run 3-2 box. I've been doing that more in the last few games.
Odd wide.
Tell me about what advantage you think that gives you, because it seems like on the out perimeter it's hard to get out there.
Well, it's only good against certain things. I don't think any of us believe that that's the answer. If you're playing 12 personnel Arkansas, I don't think you're going to, see us in that. But this team was you felt like we could stop the run pretty much against them. They did get some explosive runs against it, which is, it's a light box, and I like running against those boxes. I called several the other night against their 5-man boxes, and we had some real explosive runs. You should have a lot of support perimeter-wise for these quarterbacks that do what he did, and we just didn't execute it very well when we were in those fronts. But I don't every game can change, but, typically for DJ, that's more of a third down coverage front that we play, but we did play quite a bit of that against them.
With SEC play starting this week and it being Arkansas at home, what is the biggest threat that they are going to bring to Jordan Hare on Saturday?
Well, a good football team that's well coached, and they're deep at some places, and they look like an SEC football team, particularly in the O-line and the running backs and tight ends, and quarterback's very, very dangerous. Big defensive line, inside guys are huge. 40's a preseason All-SEC guy at defensive end, and they replaced a couple linebackers, but these guys seem solid. Secondary, they're going to challenge you more. We haven't been challenged like this. They're going to get up and press you and play, a mixture of quarters and man and some three, and but they disguise it pretty good. But in all of them, they'll get up and press you. So it's going to test us, and how do we handle getting off the ball against press technique? And we haven't seen a lot of that. Cal's DBs were pretty good, but they were press bail. It wasn't true press. These guys will truly press you.
Y'all ran the ball more on Saturday. Jarquez had the 20 career or the career high in carries. Is y'all leaning on the run more? Was that like weather dependent, the new quarterback dependent, or is that something you can expect more after throwing it more against Cal?
I've said it before. I just believe in being balanced, and I think we were really balanced the other night. I don't know the numbers run to pass, but the yards were very, very balanced. Some of it's predicated on how we feel about our matchup, O-line against their box. Some of it's predicated on the box count, how many is in it. as opposed to us throwing the football with it. So it's a combination, it's a mixture. But I know that people in the past used to just talk about, well, Freeze wants to throw it. That's never been the case for me, ever. I'd like to hand it off a lot, but you've got to have that average per carry's got to be pretty good, and we've been good in 3 games. We're above 7 yards a carry. But the number of actual handoffs is, man, every game is different based on those things that I just mentioned.
Coach, you spoke after the last game about seeing if this is going to be a permanent fix with Hank there, especially as you enter a challenge for him and experience with SEC play. How do you balance the growth for him and wanting to see him grow with this experience, but also the execution needed out of that position?
Say that one more time. How do I grow him?
Well, just the balance in giving him slack to grow and learn from the experience, but also you need a level of execution out of that spot.
Yeah, I'm not much on slack. He's got to get it done. You know, you got a veteran senior behind him in Peyton that we still have belief in. But Hank looked poised. I don't think the moments are too big for him now. It's what I do think we as coaches have to make sure is. So we've already done base downs, and I go in there, and I look on the board, and my immediate reaction is, no, we're not doing all that. We're not even going to go down. We're not even starting this discussion like this, and so I think we've got to be careful of you have to execute at a high level at the quarterback position here to have a chance to win games, or you have to find one that will. And we saw that in the Cal game, and we saw it now. He executed at a high level. We won a football game. All right, it's going to be tougher now. That doesn't mean, though, that the game plan has to be exquisite. It doesn't have to be some 84 plays that we have to win the game. Let's do the plays that schematically match up with what they do, and let's do them very, very well and do them over and over and over again with the options that we have off of them, and I think Hank can handle all that just fine. The hardest thing will be the checks and getting us out of – I don't like to just call and haul things, or Nick's call and haul things, knowing it could be bad against, if they do this look, it's no good. We really love this play, but, I mean, there's some you can run inside zone against anything, you know. That doesn't mean it's great. They may have an extra hat, but you really don't want to run certain plays against certain things, and that's where the quarterback, now how many of those can he handle is what we've got to decide. But I walked in and I saw 4 on the board, and I said, that's too many already. So you better figure out your favorite ones. And so I think it's just us making sure. But as far as he's got to play at a high level, so let's find out what he can do at a high level.
Hey, Hugh, going from Peyton, who's been through the wars before, played in some big-time games, going to a redshirt freshman like Hank, I'm interested, especially as his post-game, he's got moxie, he's got some swagger to him. When did you realize, was it in camp, was it this week, when you said not only can he perform well, but he can lead the group and he has the capability to handle the role that is being Auburn's starting quarterback?
So I've recruited Hank since he's a 10th grader at Liberty. He was committed to us there. I don't know if y'all know that or not. So I've believed in Hank a long time, and just got to know he and his family really, really well because they came to a lot of visits and a lot of games. And I've always felt like he had this it factor to him as an individual. That doesn't always translate to him having the it factor in making plays, but every opportunity that he got here, even though the sample size was really, really small, every single time that he got that opportunity, it seemed pretty natural for him. So I've always had this kind of sneaking belief that he had something to him, and now we're getting ready to find out at what level he. There's no question he does. At what level is that out right now compared to the rest of the SEC? We're getting ready to find out.
Coach, you mentioned Malcolm Simmons and maybe getting him in on punt return. You also noted how dynamic he's been with the ball in his hands. What do you need to see from him maybe to expand his package at slot receiver on the field here moving into SEC play?
Understanding what to do on every single call that we have in the call book for that week, and that's been the biggest struggle. And I'm not beating him up at all because I love this kid, love him, love everything about him. And but he's 100 miles an hour at everything he does with a smile on his face. But that everything he does might be a corner route when it was not even close to what we're supposed to be doing. And he's getting better. Talent-wise, he deserves to be on the field some. So I do think it's time. I did say that before I came down. It's time for us to have a package. And let's quit trying to, all right, well, we're worried if we put him in here, and all right, great. Just give me, I'll find another box on the call sheet that just says Malcolm. And he can do, we feel good about these right now, and just grow with him because he's good enough to be on the field.
You were talking about some of the young players, and in the secondary, Caleb Harris has played a lot.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, how about that story? Yeah. We weren't even going to offer him, and then I went and watched him practice, and kind of reminds me of Mike Hilton when I wasn't going to offer him either. Now he's the highest paid nickel in the NFL, and I went and watched him practice, and I said, "Oh, whoa, this guy's he's the alpha dog on the team." And he's the most physical guy we have in the secondary right now.
How much do you like not only him, but some of the younger guys in that secondary, guys that we're going to have to step up this year, and how they're kind of growing here these first few weeks?
We still have growth to take place. I don't think we're playing with great poise back there or discipline. Our eyes are in the bad spots at times. We're handsy. I thought Jaden Crawford came in and did really good. We didn't put him in until the fourth quarter, but I thought he played really solid and looked under control and poised. Obviously Kaylee didn't play, and we need him to play well there. And it's something I'm selling to the 25 class is we need a couple of big-time safeties and big-time corners to come in and help us in the 25 class, and they're out there. We just got to get them. Yep. Thank you.